This is Apple on the 5-minute time frame. I'm going to give you price targets for Monday. We ended the week at $196.89, up 1.24%. To the north side from where we are takes us to one level of resistance and a potential take profit area at 197.33. Above that, at 3 standard deviations, roughly 197.88. And at 4 standard deviations, roughly 198.46. To the south side, back at support and the middle of the trend and the baseline, 196.13. VWAP is in the blue at 194.84. And to the south side of that, at -2 standard deviations, 195.01, 194.42, and roughly 193.84. Looking left, note the bounce here at support. I will anticipate a potential sell-off if we get to this area or close to it. And definitely here and here, people will take their profits and they will run and lock in and leave. So be aware of that. And then this is the zone here for your potential take profit area, and people did. Price fell back down. And when we are down here and we get to the middle of the line, that is resistance, and it's sold off as well. Bounce here at support. And I will show you what we look like quickly on the daily time frame. Ignore the white lines. Apple was previously on my gap and go list, but everything gapped up to where I was tracking it, and then I stopped tracking it. But I am in Apple. It's my largest holding and my most profitable. All right, on the daily, RSI turning up. Expect a pullback on the daily time frame. Note here, pullback. Here, pullback. I use this as support and resistance, and that is looking overextended. Price-wise, here is your range for the daily time frame. To the north side, roughly 202.93. And back at the baseline, the middle of the trend where price goes before flushing to the south side, or if it's on its way up, it has to go through to get to the north side. So this is a nice resting spot where I anticipate price to hover. And to the south side, 184.17. The 1-year price target is 202.72, which represents a 2.96% from where we are. And then after that, it will be at 275. I've never seen Apple at 275. I won't hold my breath, but that would be lovely. They do stock splits and never get up that high. And for giggles, let's look at this on the weekly. We have room to move to the upside before we are overextended. And on the monthly, we also have room to go up. So it will depend on your time frame that you are playing, where you get different buy and sell signals. And back to the 5-minute. And very quickly, let's take a look at SPY on the 5-minute. Oh, wait a minute. I got to finish something with Apple. I have to finish something with Apple, which are your gaps. So this gap I've been tracking, touched right here. On Thursday, no longer a threat to our account to the south side. We are done. Delete. And this gap to the south side, done, touched right about there at 190.41, fell a little bit more and then started to run up. Delete, no longer a threat to our account to the south side. And this one is also done. All right. I told someone that made a comment once about Apple, never underestimate Apple. And I believe that was in the 140s or 50s when I said that to him. Delete that at 190.04, and we've got this bopper to look forward to the south side. Not really, but If you like to go short, there you go. That's the potential to get down there. Then after that, we have this puppy. Of course, we are moving farther away from these gaps to the south side, but when we reverse, which we will, you cannot continue to keep running and running. It just doesn't happen that way. Don't keep your expectations low. And then we have this one. Consider that a nice buy-in. And then this one. And that one touched already, so this is still in play. All right. Okay, enough of Apple. SPY. Let's reset. Option R. 533.90. Oh, wait. 534. Oops. Fix that. 534.01 is where we ended, down 0.12%. We are at support, and you know what happens. Sure, we could go down just a little bit more, and then I will anticipate a bounce. So that is 537.20, 540.37, 541.82, and where are we here? 543.41. The 52-week high is 536.89, so we are possibly retracing to that area and maybe making a new all-time, 52-week high, I should say. And to the south side at another level of support. Oh, VWAP, by the way, is 534.56. If I'm playing VWAP, I don't like to buy at VWAP. I like to buy below VWAP. And if I don't get it, I don't get it. There are plenty of other trades to take. All right, so down here, 532.51-ish. 530.95, a gap closes to the south side at 528.47. And looking back, note the bounce at support. Support didn't make it there, but it started to run, sell off at resistance. And I'm just pointing out the clear signals. You can turn on your bot, you can turn on your Bollinger Bands, use the VWAP, Fibonacci retracements, trend lines, patterns, bull flag, the W pattern, the double top, I don't use any of that. I do like to track the W's, but I don't need to look at it. I already know where it's going to start tanking based off of this. Okay, now I never cleaned up my chart from the previous time I looked at this. So we clearly touched here, and that was on Monday the 3rd, June 3rd. We gapped down. I anticipate a gap fill to the upside whenever it does, and it did. That is no longer in play. Delete. So this one touched down here, and that's part of this one. And clear buy signal here, support. And on the daily, then I'm going to wrap this up, track this 1,000 times here. RSI turning down. So where are we? 534.01. We are right here. So, or one over, but when you flip to the different time frames, it's off. It gets wonky. So roughly 552.72. That's long term here. And above that, 567.30. And the next target after that, 582.27. Not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close to get up here, but something to look forward to. And then back down at the baseline will take us to 522.85. And you cannot use VWAP on a larger time frame. As you can see, it gets distorted. 493.66. RSI turning down, selling off. Didn't quite touch it at the extended line of 70 and above. So here we're touching 69, almost 70. So we could run some more and then expect a pullback. And same with SPY here. But no, looking left, the crash, falling down, I expect the pattern to repeat itself as well on SPY. So keep that in mind. And then for this past week, APD, oh gosh. So this is where we ended, 279.53. I'll just give you the range for giggles. 582.89. 285.83. 288.73. VWAP is 278.88 as of this moment. 277.17. 271.30. 268.47. 265.56. Again, everything is a moving target. Keep that in mind. And then I like to look at the lowest performing stock of the 230 I have here, and that's ENPH. Talked about this one many times as well. And let me just mark that out for fun. So your targets here, 125.67 for your VWAP, 133.33, 136.25, 139.07, and to the south side, support 121.86-ish, 118.77, and 115.90. So this gap closed out, it looks like. I marked. Let's go to the daily. Oops, stay on page, Command R, oops, Option R, there we go. So here we have your targets on ENPH. So back up to resistance will take us to roughly 138.45, to the south side, roughly 93.33. All right, that is a look mainly at what I wanted to go over: Apple, SPY, what was that, APD, and ENPH Energy. Have a great trading week.